Roll call, please.
Mark Bodie.
Here.
Gary Guglielmetti. Here. Alan Bella.
Here.
Christian Lynch.
Here.
Henry Williams.
Were there any amendments to the minutes of the last May meeting as submitted?
Nope.
No? May I have a motion to accept the minutes of the May meeting as submitted?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So ruled. Minutes accepted. May meeting. Thank you, Olivia. Great job on the meeting. So before we have a couple people here we want to hear, but before we have a little bit of housekeeping business to attend to, we actually had 3 public hearings scheduled, and because of a clerical error in the office, we are obligated by New York State law, municipalities are obligated to notify the public of a public hearing 8 days at a time. This municipality usually gives 10 days. That didn't happen this time, so we, on the basis of legal counsel, we felt that we should postpone the public hearings that were scheduled for today until such time as the public can be notified of the public hearings. And so it was suggested that perhaps this board would want a special meeting, and that would be at the end of this month or the first couple days in July. If we want to do, we still want to do Wednesday. I think that is.
We have one more Wednesday, 25th.
We wouldn't have enough time.
No.
Would you want to do the
The 2nd or the 9th?
following Wednesday?
Anytime the 30th or the 3rd would be great.
The 3rd,
The 9th or the 2nd of July?
the 2nd is a Wednesday.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe that.
That's my best bet. Can you show up for the 2nd of July?
Yep.
Can you do it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so let's do that. So do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, you gotta reset all 3 of those public hearings. So, do you guys want to do it?
One at a
What
time?
We have
Same.
6:30, 6:45, and 7 o'clock.
So I think at the same time.
There you go. So I would just motion for a public hearing for this project at 6:30, motion for a public hearing for this project.
And how about the video crew? Can you guys show up July 2nd, Wednesday? Yes. Okay,
And Mark, I'm sorry to interrupt, it was Deborah Mack was the first one at 6:30.
Here we go.
Wellington was the second one at 6:45, and then Verizon was the third one for 7 o'clock.
okay. Yeah. Okay, so I make a motion, we have a special meeting to cover the public hearing on Wednesday, July 2nd. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved. Okay, special meeting, July 2nd, Wednesday. That will give you guys enough time to notify the applicants, and we'll get it done this time. Okay, so who is our first applicant?
Our first and only.
We have 2, right? We have 2. Keezy. Keezy.
Mr. Keezy, do we have that here?
Yeah, so.
There should be a folder.
59 Cinder Road. Is that applicant here? Mr. Keezy? Okay, can you come up and tell us what you want to do?
Where was that?
There's a folder in there.
Good evening.
Hello, nice
Hey,
to see you.
hello.
Thank you for, I know exactly how much that was.
Yeah, just so you guys know, this is Clifford Bufo, who is the chairman of the planning board.
Yep.
I'm,
Welcome.
so it's, I live at 59 Cinder Road, and this project is taking place at 72 Cinder Road. I'm here as the contractor. It's just it's a mudroom addition. Their property is kind of small, and just want to put an 8-foot mudroom on the front. We should have a plot plan in there somewhere showing setbacks as they would be. We're at 27 feet on the short side and 31 feet on the long, and the side yards are unchanged. They have a, if you're looking at that, they've got a porch on the right side there, and then they actually own the adjacent lot as well. That's where their leach field is, and their septic tank is kind of right like here. So it's really, this says you enter the property right here. That's the driveway. Don't want to encroach that way anymore. It's wet over there. That's,
Okay.
and the mudroom doesn't go in the back of the house anyway.
Okay.
But there's really no other place to build, honestly.
This is like the third or fourth property of Cinder Road?
It's more than that. It's near the end, kind of. Do you know the road at all?
Yeah.
You know where they did the bank work, the big project?
Yeah.
It's the next one past that.
I'm technically a neighbor. I'm at 346, so if I just go over my mountainside in your backyard.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're friends and neighbors, and and they don't know anything about this process, so that's why I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, the well is about out here. I'm sorry, the well is back here. So it's not, it doesn't interfere with that. Yeah, pretty simple.
Can you can you point to where the septic is again?
Yeah, maybe show us on the map here.
It's out here. The septic tank is about there,
Mhm.
and the leach field is basically this whole thing.
And this is Cinder Road here.
Correct. Okay, that's Cinder Road. You enter the property right here currently, and this is like their parking area.
Got it.
That's their front door right there.
Got it.
This is Cinder Road. This is the add-on. The add-on will be facing Cinder Road, correct?
Correct, yes. They get along well with the neighbors. No
I hope
worries.
so.
Yeah.
What is the actual variance you're asking for? How much?
23 feet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the required is 50, right?
Correct.
Which you don't have now anyway, right?
We don't have now anyway. We'll be going to 27.
Right.
Is this property grandfathered in? Is that pre?
It's pre-existing, yeah. It's old.
Okay.
A lot of the lots are small on that road. That's why they needed 2 just to get anything in.
So basically taking 8 foot out of there already.
Yeah. And so in the elevation, there's the door to the mudroom, right? What's to the left? There's an opening there. What's that?
The meter pen is right there.
Uh-huh.
And it's just, it seemed to make sense to
It's basically
chop it off. Yeah, it's kind of an open space that they could use for storage, for putting logs.
like logs and stuff
Fire,
like that.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
it just it seemed like it would create kind of a dead space from a design perspective as far as snow plowing.
Yep.
It didn't-
Okay.
You're the contractor?
Yes.
Oh, we never get a contractor. Must be a busy man these days.
I am a busy man. Yeah, we're like a year and a half out, actually.
It's pretty straightforward. I don't know if you guys are
Yep.
familiar with Cinder
No.
Road. If you want to take a drive up, it's
Yep.
along Stony Cove Creek. These are small lots. I think most of these lots are grandfathered in.
Most of the houses actually span several with the properties, just, yeah, they're all grandfathered in.
Okay. Seems pretty straightforward. Any questions?
Nope.
Okay, so I guess we need to schedule a public hearing, which would be, now, do we want to do this a month from now or on July 2nd?
You'll do it during your next meeting, I assume, which is July 16th.
Regular meeting, okay. Which will be July
16.
16th. Okay, so I make a motion, we hold the public hearing on July 16th for the Deborah Mack application.
No, it's Justin Kesey.
All in favor?
It's,
Aye. All opposed?
It's not Matt.
So moved.
it's not Mac, it's Kesey, Justin
Oh.
Kesey.
Okay. No, I-
6:45, honestly.
Yep.
Here. 6:45.
6:45, right?
Okay, 6:45, July 16th, which is a Wednesday, public hearing. See you then.
Thanks,
very much.
Cliff.
Thanks. That's pretty straightforward.
Okay, so Deborah Mack is the issue.
Oh, she's not here.
That was
That
part
was a
of the
public
public
hearing.
hearing, yeah.
So it's Charles Papier.
Okay, Verizon, and Wellington Blueberry's not here, they had to be canceled. We've got another one.
Right, I hear you looking for
Stop.
a
And
copy,
so-
but I don't know if
Who?
he's here.
What's the other one?
Charles Papia, but I don't see him here yet.
Okay. And you people are associated with
See
the,
one.
the leeway, but we're just observing.
okay,
We thought that that was our opportunity before we asked you for an interpretation. I don't know exactly how we go through that process.
I'm a little confused myself. This issue is in front of the planning board. From what I gather from watching the YouTube was they couldn't make up their minds as to whether or not a tent structure, which would be associated with the wedding venue, is a permanent structure or a temporary structure.
No, that's not correct.
Yeah, tell us.
The issue here is use, and it's not that the planning board can't make up their mind, it's that they're not allowed to. So the question is that event tent an accessory use to the pre-existing non-conforming hotel? Is a question that the planning board cannot answer and this board must. Which changes, either decision you make changes the course that the applicant must take to try at least to get the approval that they're looking for.
So whether the tent is an accessory temporary structure or.
Not structure, we're talking use and use only. We're not talking about the structures, just
What's the
use.
question again?
The question is that events
Tent?
use, the event tent use, an accessory use to the hotel, the pre-existing non-conforming hotel use that's already there. They are allowed to expand their uses by 50%. We can get into the code of it all.
Right.
But if this board decides that that event tent, that event use is not accessory to the pre-existing use, then the applicant would need at least a use variance in order to operate that way.
Well, I haven't seen any maps or any documentation about this.
We wouldn't, they haven't come here to ask, they will, I'm sure, come here to ask you for that interpretation as they've been advised.
But is not most of this property in the floodway?
The bulk of it, yes, and the flood issues are being addressed by Donna.
Okay.
That's not a part of, that piece of this will be handled during secret review, theoretically, and certainly handled by our floodplain administrator, should they get the use and the structures approved by these boards.
Well, not to taint the discussions, but it sounds totally undoable if it's in the floodway.
And that's for Donna to say. And Donna's had those discussions with them. They know what they have to do. They know what types of paperwork and information they need to get Donna in order to comply with flood regs in that zoning district, should they get their approvals. They've been asked to provide an elevation certificate. They've been asked to provide a certification of no rise, which is no small feat. They are taking those, they have at least been advised that they need to take those steps.
And to be clear, notification of no rise is that
Certainly.
whatever they do will not create a rise in the flood
Correct.
way downstream.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's all done by an engineer. Like I said, it's no small feat. It'll be a whole process for them that should they choose to go through it, they'll have to.
Yeah.
So our only question is the event tent use an accessory use to the hotel?
Correct.
That's what we have to answer.
That's what you have to answer. And then following that, should the applicant choose to move forward regardless of your interpretation, there will be applications likely for variance either way. But that'll be next step for you to worry about, not this step.
Okay.
Right now, what they need is your interpretation of code.
And what code is that, do you know? That,
You're looking at a few different things here. So you're looking at the definition of accessory use. You're looking at the area and bulk regs, which of those accessory uses are permitted. And then outside of that, 11648, I think, is what allows you to expand on a pre-existing non-conforming use.
And I assume parking issues will be taken up by the planning board?
Mhm.
Is that correct, Cliff?
Yes, and Olivia, feel free to send them that thing I typed up. If they might find it helpful.
Yes.
I just kind of, just that thing, that was what I read at the meeting, just a summary of all that.
I have a copy of that.
And everything.
Copies for us?
I have a copy from that meeting.
No, they,
Will,
they,
I'll
they
get it.
purchased it.
Yeah, we can get that.
Okay.
Okay. So again, this is an issue where we're being asked for an interpretation, which is similar.
Well, no one's actually, they're not here to ask for it, so, but I'm sure they will be at some point.
Do we know the size of the tent versus
Yeah,
the?
it's all on the website.
It
The
is?
plans are on the website.
Whose website? The town website?
Mhm.
Okay. All right.
Yes, it's, the occupancy on the tent is 75 guests.
Mhm.
So what they're expecting is the 75 guest occupancy. That doesn't include, I don't believe, their staff, however many they need to staff for the day.
I mean, the reason why I ask that is because, you know, the definition of an accessory use says that the occupancy or tenancy, which is customarily incidental or subordinate to the principal use. So the question is this use subordinate? Or is it, in a sense, primary, because it's larger and takes up more, it's more influential on the site? That's how I would look at this. If the tent is larger than the hotel, if it holds more people
It's
than,
not larger, no, the hotel,
I don't know, or like, in other words, does it hold more people? Is,
probably.
if it
Yes,
holds more
yes.
people, does that actually become primary? And if it does, I would say that it is not accessory. That's how I would look at it.
Okay. Well, currently these are individual cabin units, of which, are there 6 units?
This is, there is a motel structure with a few units over here in office space. There are 2 separate buildings that have 2 units in each of them homes. They look like houses. I believe they have a total of 9 rentals. That's off the top of my head. These are questions most appropriately posed to the applicant. They should be informed of this kind of stuff.
Are there other accessory buildings or uses on the property? Sorry.
There used to be. When it used to be Kate's Lazy Meadow, she got approvals for an RV park back by the stream. She had those really cool Airstreams back there,
yeah.
and that used to get approved. But that's gone, and has been gone for more than 5 years. So
Okay.
that approved special permitted use isn't relevant anymore. There have been other uses in the past. There are not now.
And you are an adjacent neighbor? Is that correct?
I am literally 25 feet away from the back of the motel building.
Remember when we did the fence, when we raised the fence?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
had,
that's when
she
they
was,
raised the fence. I came in here when they raised the fence, and I said, fine, you can raise the fence
Right.
to give us privacy, but now they want to take away my privacy by having a wedding event venue with 75 guests, noise, bands, you know, probably karaoke, God knows, you know, what they're going to be doing over there.
And
Next
again, I'm
door,
going to say that the applicant
next
is
door.
not here to represent themselves while we have this conversation. So just let's try and keep them.
Okay, understood.
Could I
Yeah.
just ask a procedural question, like, are these neighbors entitled to ask for an interpretation instead of the lawyer representing the leeway? And then they would be informed, just so that we could get this on the agenda as soon as humanly possible?
Yes,
How then would the applicant provide this board with the information that they need about their occupancy
He
rates?
would come when we were,
He wouldn't, there would be no reason that he would have to.
That would be the public hearing, right? Wouldn't that?
No, but I'm saying if somebody's asking you for an interpretation of code, and the person who knows the most about the project, the person who wants to do it, isn't a part of that conversation, how are you to get the information you need in order to make the determination?
Understood.
Right.
Well, I think the answer is yes, you are welcome to represent yourself if you feel that's a good idea. We don't really recommend it.
I mean, I'm just confused, so first we come here and get your opinion about whether the accessory use, and then there's a public hearing about it? Is that accurate?
The applicant needs to come to us.
yes, the
first.
applicant needs to come to us.
And then they may come to us for an opinion. They may also come to us to make a ruling
On a variance.
or ask us for.
Which would be later.
Which they would ask us for a public hearing,
Okay,
and
but
then you would come.
when you rule on whether or not it's an appropriate use, change, or additional use, it wouldn't be a public hearing, and both Moriello, the lawyer, and these people would be allowed to speak?
hearing.
Yes, you're allowed to speak.
Okay,
We heard you to speak.
okay, okay.
At
thank you.
the public hearing.
Because, yeah, I don't feel represented by Mr. Moriello.
No, well, you can speak beyond the public hearing, but
Uh-huh.
anybody who wants to input, the adjacent neighbors or anybody who wants to respond to the public notice in the newspaper. which
Yeah,
is-
but I think she's talking about before that.
I am, because I don't think the action.
She's talking about-
What do you could tell me? Will there be a public hearing post their decision about the use?
No, only if they apply for a variance, and then we will have a public hearing.
Okay.
So
I
before
don't
that,
believe that there's anything in code that requires this board to have a public hearing insofar as an application of interpretation of code is considered.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
It's a one-meeting event.
Could be, but the applicant would come, explain what they want to do. If the board's not satisfied with what's presented and they want more information, then the determination would wait until that information were provided. It really depends. It could be a one-meeting thing, I suppose.
It could be, and then they would come, we would schedule a public hearing.
no, we wouldn't, not necessarily for that, because that's an interpretation. We would,
We're not talking about an interpretation, we're talking about if they come in after the interpretation. and-
well, I thought we were talking about the interpretation.
This is after, well,
Okay, I think we understand each other.
I'm glad you understand.
We can bloviate on any opinions we want, but just throwing out an opinion does not have any legal weight. So we
Understood,
need to
but
go
it
through the
will,
process.
when it comes before you properly. It will have legal weight when the board makes the vote.
Correct.
Yes, okay, thank
Correct. Um, okay, kind of sticky wicket, but we might do a little more reading.
Well, I definitely want to, read up on that.
Yeah, and then also if you guys want to do a site visit and drive down that road.
I would like to.
You're going to find that the large area where I think you want to put the tent is in the floodway.
And that will be adult.
Right.
But
The
that's not,
location
that's
of
not our,
the tents, the way it looks, none of that is what we're discussing here.
that's what I'm
It's only
saying,
the
so
use.
that's
What
not,
we're
that's
discussing
not
here is
our,
simply the use.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really this right
I
here.
want to be clear about that.
I asked Donna if she thought that this project as presented would require a FEMA variance, and she said no.
And what about approval from the New York City DEP?
They will get their permits from the DEP as required. That's not for us.
New York State DEC.
That's not for us.
Okay. And then.
I did specifically ask Donna if they were in need of FEMA variance during the last planning board meeting, and she said, as long as they provided the elevation certificate and the certification of no rise, they would not need a FEMA variance.
And they provide that by hiring an engineer?
Yes. Well, the elevation certificate's done by a surveyor, the certification of no rise is done by an engineer.
All right, we got several steps to go.
Well, they have more steps to go.
Yeah.
Grace, under Article 6, 7722, it talks about variance procedure. You know-
That's what we said was flood,
Yeah, in flood. So it does talk about zoning board of appeals. So Donna will be
Donna-
dealing with flood, and then will it come to us based?
If she decides a FEMA variance is required, then you guys will be able to address the flood issues
Got
that
it.
she, as presented.
Got it, okay.
We need to do a little reading.
But right now, we're just worried about it.
Just use.
Worried about what?
Use.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Excuse me, can I ask one question?
Sure.
My hearing isn't that great. Did I hear somebody say that you were going to go and actually look at the property itself?
We'd like to, yeah.
You will?
Yes.
Yes.
I think that would be very enlightening for everyone. Really.
And can we see your property too from that side?
She wanted to know if we were going to go visit the
Yes,
property.
yes.
My
Yeah.
property, and, I guess they have to give permission, I don't know, to see that property, I don't know. Do you have to ask them?
Well, we
permission or
try
you
to
show up?
identify ourselves and cooperate. We don't want to
Right.
intrude on anybody, but it's to their advantage that we are familiar with the project. Now, you are on the upstream side.
West of the property.
Yeah.
West, okay.
Yeah. And also the neighbors on the other side are also, they're not here tonight, but normally they come to all meetings with us. They're also very much opposed to this proposal.
Who is that, Valentine?
Wayne Gutman
Oh.
and his wife Nola, and also the Shoutons, who are renting the property from them. Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Any other comments, questions?
Somebody walked in?
Yeah.
Yes, you get to do on this one.
That's
Are you here for any reason, sir?
The other applicant.
He's on your agenda.
Yeah, did you ever?
Oh, happy, sure, okay. What is? What is the application now?
It's here it is, here it is, here it is.
It's a green one.
You're confusing us with these photos. We're not used to your.
It-
I meant to make one.
It's so organized that we're,
Supposed to be easier, right?
I don't know how many times you say, it's in the folder,
we're not
it's
used
in the
to this
folder.
efficiency. Yeah, please step up and tell us what you want to do.
Well, hello, gentlemen, how
Hi.
are you, and ladies? And,
Hello, welcome.
I'd like to build a house there. Right now, I want to build a mother-daughter. Two reasons is basically I have a big family, and as I get older, I don't know what the circumstances are going to be, who's going to live with me or what. So I just want to be prepared
Okay.
to, whatever occurs.
So where you want to build is 97 St. Catherine Drive?
Yes,
Where is St. Catherine Drive?
Oh, up on Rose Mountain?
by Rose Mountain.
Yeah.
and
It's a little,
hard left.
a little
all the way on
fork
top.
off of Rose Mountain Road as you go up.
How many acres is it?
Alex used to own the Realty. There was what was it called? I don't know. It was a real estate guy, basically lived in Pine Hill, Alex.
I don't know that person.
Yeah.
How large is the lot?
The lot is
5 acres.
5.32 acres.
Okay. What is the variance you're requesting?
Code requires that you increase the required lot size by 60% for a two-family residence. So code requires an 8-acre lot to build a two-family home.
Would it be a two-family home?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. Oh, here we are.
And right now, the lot is, how big?
5.32.
There's no environmental that I could see there. The setbacks are more than enough from neighbor to neighbor. I figure the house of the next neighbor should be close to 1,000 linear feet away.
Okay.
And the opposite side should be like 1,000 also.
Is this flat land?
No, it's not. That's why it was so difficult to get the septic system
It's
approved.
steep in the back, yeah.
But we got it approved.
Yeah.
And so,
Actually pretty steep in the back.
how far from the road would you be now? Is that 120?
Well, actually, the back of the house is, the back of the house will be, I think there, it's like 100-something feet away from the road, town road.
So that's the back.
That would be the back of the.
Yeah, I don't have, in my memory, I don't have.
The back of the house being
On Catherine? Wait,
this side here? Can you look at? Is this the back of the house?
This is the road, this is the back of the house,
how do
the
you,
side entrance is here, and this is looking down at Bel Air Ski Center. This area here, this is the road right there.
so the front of the house is where?
It all
Well, the
depends
front
where you
entrance.
It's
look
here?
at the
It's this-
front.
it's this-
I think the front should be where my view is.
For you guys.
Oh, that
the front
drops
of the house
off
is
there.
whatever's
That
along
drops
St.
off.
Catherine Drive.
That drops
What he's
off.
saying
So
is
this
the
would be
pretty
the-
side is facing the rear.
Right, so I guess the question is, you know, how far are you from, is the front of the building from the road? 120. Is that what I'm
120?
hearing? 120, and it's supposed to be 2 something?
No, the setback there is what, 75 feet? The required setback there would be 75 feet.
And this is all new construction.
The
There's
form
no
is- the
existing
form is-
footprint, no existing building here.
No,
That part.
no, there was a vacant lot, I cleaned it up.
Road setbacks,
So I get a-
280.
an idea
The
of
form
what
says
we
280,
and where.
proposed
I don't know why.
proposed
I-
I
setback.
get down there in order to,
I think he's showing the side there, look. And that's wrong too, but he's at 230.
Per test?
Now, those are the
So I had
proposed
to get down
setbacks.
there, so I had to clear.
Okay.
So 280 on
I
the
didn't clear,
front, which he's
I just
calling.
cleared
The
enough
back.
for me to
Switch
get
it.
down.
I see,
Yeah.
I see.
Okay. Well,
I think he's
it-
on the
My
front
back,
side.
I
I
want to
see.
take it off. and-
So
Okay.
it's timbered?
He's well within the
Currently
required
timbered?
setback.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. You got a lot of work ahead of you.
Yeah, pretty much. All the way up to past we're right here past the septic system's already cleared out.
How is that 280 if it's, if the back is
There's no way I can
120?
get down there.
You gotta switch the numbers. He's calling the front of the
Yeah.
house, but you're calling the back. of
Yeah,
the house.
exactly.
No, but
The-
still.
the two-
Logically, maybe.
Oh, yeah, 280 is here, he's saying it's over on this side,
To where?
to the
The
property.
road's here. Oh, this is
He's
from the
calling the
property.
front, the
Oh,
view
I get it,
side.
Yeah, yeah. I got
That's
it.
much better way to use this. That's much better than my way. I'm just like the prim.
I get it, all right.
Okay,
Any other questions? Any other questions?
Nope.
I know.
Uh,
Well, do we know what the height of the building is?
Excuse me?
The height of the building?
Well, it's.
Says it on the front.
The building is designed to be,
33.
33,
how
yeah.
you say? It's not, it's an open basement type thing where it has all windows. So the front part, which is really the back to me, is going to be at ground level. And that should be, I don't have the plan, that, the height of that building there at that point should be like 21 feet, something like that.
Olivia has the plans upstairs.
I
if
can
you
go
want her to
grab
go
them real
grab them.
quick, the big ones.
Maybe that's a good idea.
I can. That were dropped off when he just was applying for a building permit,
Okay.
that's why I don't have them.
We can take a look, but we
Sure.
will need a public hearing before we make any decisions.
Yeah.
We'll soon make a motion for that.
Wait, wait, just takes a second.
Yeah, I was gonna bring some smaller, sketches of it, but.
Okay. Are you a longtime local resident?
Yes, I've been living here since 1988 up at Bel Air, right around the Alvinus restaurant. I'm also a skier and I volunteer at Bel Air Ski Center for the last 15 years.
You haven't had much snow lately.
Oh, we got some of the best snow-making equipment. With the gondola really put us on the map. I don't know if
Yeah.
a lot of people around here like that, but it's, they've done good work.
Yeah, so we have the mountain jam coming up this weekend.
Oh, yeah, right.
So, look at that.
I've heard a lot of complaints about that.
Two sets. Two sets there.
This is the view side. This side here is facing Route 28.
This is facing Route 28?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's facing down, yeah.
On the whole.
So you're,
That's why to
And
me
the
this
road's
is-
back here.
I think there's some other pictures.
I see.
You see how,
So this is the lower section, the back of the house is probably like this, right?
Wait a minute, let me just see this.
Here's a little bit of the entrance here, and this is like the back of it.
That 33 must
So
be.
this goes 94, 92, yeah, that
It's
goes
goes
down.
sloping down.
right.
Yeah, I
So
thought it was
that's
up
right.
at first.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so that's right. So
Yeah.
that's the road lot right there.
Right.
So it's basically a walkout.
So when you calculate the height, I assume it's your highest point.
Right.
It's built into the back. Excuse me?
It's built into the back.
Yeah.
You're 100 feet from the road?
120.
120.
So you're good to go already. You got all your details and everything.
Yeah, nice job. This is what we need to make a,
Again, this is down slope. Guess we enter here.
what's the total square footage?
Where do you enter?
2,500.
Got a builder yet?
Two buildings.
Excuse me, sir?
You have a builder yet?
Did I have
You have a builder, a contractor.
Well, I guess I'm the builder.
You are?
I'm trying to get, I'm looking for a foundation guy, but I'm gonna be doing the framing, all the interior.
Oh, really?
stuff. Yeah. I built my other house. And this is not, my first house. Yeah. When I 88, I built that first house and then I sold it.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Are you a contractor? Professional contractor?
yes.
Semi-professional.
City, well, most of the work was in the city when I was younger.
We were all young.
Union carpenter?
I don't want you to hold it against.
Union carpenter?
Well, if you don't have it-
Were you union carpenter?
No, I was actually a union electrician, local 3.
A local
Nice.
three?
Higher Board of Education. Rural College.
Cool.
I was a head electrician there.
Cool.
And I should have stayed there, and I thought, it's tier 1, you follow city.
Okay,
So it's,
pretty straightforward.
yeah, it's, well, would.
Public hearing?
Yeah, let's set it.
Wood.
Excuse me, sir?
This is wood.
Yeah, it's gonna be a wood, no, these here, they're gonna be there, they're gonna be with stone.
Okay.
The cinder block coming up with a steel beam there to support the deck, and then stone is gonna be put around.
Anything else? Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, so I make a motion, we have a public hearing on the 16th of July.
I second.
All in favor?
What time?
Aye.
Okay. So
What time,
we'll-
6:30?
Do you want to do it before the other one or after?
We could put it on the July 2nd.
No.
What
Time.
Oh, what time? Oh. I guess 6:45,
No, we have the 6:45 already. The other one's 6:45.
6:30 or 7?
6:30 or, it's, we could do it at 7 if you want.
I think so.
Okay, so 7 o'clock.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Okay.
See you next month.
Thank you.
Just tell her we'll get the notice.
Bye.
If there's anything else, just let me know, and I'll try to get the information.
I'll send you a reminder.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're overly organized here, I'm not used to
I
this.
know. It's like,
Okay, so the public hearing, July 3rd will be Verizon,
second?
Burlington, and
Second.
is the third person?
Definitely.
Okay. All right, and that'll be, the first public hearing will be 6:30. It's scheduled today. Okay, great.
I think that Verizon, just to warn you now, so you can mull it over, Verizon will likely ask you to leave their public hearing open, because planning board has yet to issue a neg deck. So they're gonna want you to wait for a determination and public hearing closed until that neg deck is issued,
To the what?
the negative declaration on the secret review. Just something to
Okay.
ponder.
So, for the applications who have the public hearing on the 2nd, after those public hearings, do we then set a meeting
It is a meeting, you can vote on those applications.
at the same day? Yeah, we can.
We're not obligated to.
We're not obligated. I'm just wondering, can we do it that day? And then also, can we do it on the 18th? Now, what's that next?
16th?
16th. Or do we have to wait another cycle?
I
No.
think we could do it in a
You
special
can do
meeting.
it during the meeting, yeah.
You can, okay.
If we have enough information, but if you need more time to research or site reviews,
Okay,
we can delay that.
okay.
Any other old business? Any new business? And you
No.
guys are good for July 3rd?
Second.
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 I'm good for the third, too.
I'm asking the video people, you're good?
Yeah,
Okay.
they are.
Okay, if there's no other new business or no other old business, I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting. May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So adjourned. Thank you.